All right, hey, this is Mike Long, and I'm here with Brian. Is it Brian Halliday?
That's right. Yes, that's my name.
That's
Brian
great.
Halliday.
It's this is a really special one for OMGers because it's actually you're actually one of the people really to thank for these co-conspirator field trainings and field reports we've had. And the reason why is that Greg sent me a very nice email from you when you had just landed a client for a good amount of money,
Uh huh.
and he sent it to me, and he meant to send it to David Mills, but he accidentally sent it to a fellow NHBer, to David Hood. And David saw your testimonial and he said, "Well, I got one too." And he asked if I would like to interview him. And I said, "Well, sure. I would love to do that." And it was funny because I was thinking at the time, well, I also want to interview Brian. So I'm just now getting to interview you, and this is really cool. Uh, Brian, I also want to begin with a compliment to you because you're really one of the people who I think really helps drive the NHB Facebook group, with your questions, with your updates. And so I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, the Facebook's great. The Facebook group has been really helpful for me as well. Just in terms of mindset and motivation, it's been a good add-on. I think got a lot of value from it.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. So now in that email, I tried to find it really quickly before we began, but I couldn't. It didn't come right up. So I'll just tell you what I remember from it. I believe that you got an SEO coaching client, and it was for a good amount of money. I want to say it was for like for thousands of dollars, US. I guess that whatever what's your currency? Is it pounds, pound
Yes,
sterling?
Sterling. Yes. Well, the strange thing, it wasn't even an SEO client. It was a business coaching client, and the way I actually got the client was because I SEO'd my own website.
That's awesome. What did you SEO your website for?
Well, this is a real strange thing. I did a practice website. I'm also a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist,
Uh huh.
and although I don't really want to do the hypnotherapy, I thought I would practice with a hypnotherapy site. So I ranked my site, which then became number one for about 10 or 12 different terms.
That's
And
great.
but but the real strange thing was the client that I picked up had nothing to do with hypnotherapy. In fact, he was almost not going to phone me because of the the emphasis on the hypnotherapy. He was looking for sales coaching and persuasion coaching, and I had two lines in my whole website that mentioned that I had a track record doing this, and it was purely based upon that he picked up the phone and called me.
That's amazing. Can you tell me what? Would it be okay with you? Can I search up your site in Google?
Yes, it's hypnotherapy in Edinburgh.co.uk, but there's a hyphen in between each word, so it's hypnotherapy hyphen in hyphen
So if
Edinburgh.co.uk.
I search for hypnotherapy
Oh
in
yeah,
Edinburgh, will it show up?
Edinburgh hypnotherapist, hypnotherapy in Edinburgh, hypnotherapy
I see
Edinburgh.
you're right here. You're number two when I search for hypnotherapy, and
Yeah,
you're smart because you've got the authority listing too. So your
right.
your picture shows up there really nicely. That's so amazing. So he found this site, and you used Greg's keyword tricks to rank for a number of terms because you're saying you rank for
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff. What else do you rank for? Hypnotherapy in Edinburgh. What else?
hypnosis in Edinburgh, best hypnotist in Edinburgh, stop smoking hypnotherapy in Edinburgh, hypnotherapy for weight loss in Edinburgh. Really, the list goes on. If you play around it, I come up for a whole
Yeah, I see you here
load of
again.
things.
Yeah,
And the actual term that got me the client was something that I would never have thought of. It was, I think it was something like sales therapy performance Edinburgh, and I came number one for that.
that's
And like I
great.
said, my site isn't really oriented towards that, but this is the really strange thing. This is the kind of work I love doing, and this is the sort of work that I used to do a lot of before the recession, and I absolutely hate doing hypnotherapy. But somehow, the real strange thing is, I've had practically no phone calls for hypnotherapy, and only a couple of clients have phoned me up through that website. But it's been the types of jobs I love doing, and they've been high value jobs, so it's quite strange.
That is strange, but it also goes to show that well, first of all, I want to compliment you because you made quite a smart move by just getting started, right? I
Yeah.
mean that's really the big lesson here is that instead of just sitting there saying, "Well, I don't know what to do, I don't know what market to be in," which I'm not mocking that. It's a very understandable feeling. Instead you just did what you could do.
Exactly. And I didn't have much resources, but that client has given me now £6,000 so far.
£6,000?
So it's about $8,000.
About $8,000. And how long is that? Is that spread out over what, the last 6 months?
I've got a 6 month contract with them, but I do some telephone coaching every Friday afternoon, and I'll meet up with them occasionally as well. But I mean, it's not taking a lot of my time up. But he also wants to pay me. The real strange thing that I noticed when I started doing the OMG, it was a complete shift in mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Where last year I was out trying to work with professional golfers, and I put a lot of time into marketing, a lot of time into doing talks, and I was chasing clients. And then towards the end of the year, I got so fed up with it. I woke up one morning and I said to myself, I don't want another client.
Yeah.
And the minute I made this sort of shift, I don't know if it's a different kind of energy that I'm giving out, but I didn't even want to meet with this client. He begged me on the phone to meet him. And when I actually met up with him, I tried to put him off, and he was literally stuffing money in my pocket before I could meet him.
And over what course of time did you collect this £6,000 sterling?
It was about 3 weeks after I started to rank.
Oh wow!
Which would be about January, February. I set myself this is really quite strange. I set myself a goal last year that I would either find a company or learn how to rank websites by the end of January, and this is before I even found you guys. And almost bang on the button, by the end of January, my site was ranking #1 for all these different terms, and it was about 2 or 3 weeks after that I got this client.
That's so cool. I love that, and I love that you just did it. I love that you just, because there's so much power, in being able to rank. There's so much raw value to it. David Mills and I talk about it sometimes with Greg, and there's all kinds of coaching programs out there, all kinds of training programs out there, and sometimes somebody really is just some sales expertise away from being able to make money. Sometimes they already have customers coming and they just need to sell them, and that's great. But gosh, being able to rank a website, I mean, how does that make you feel, just knowing that you know how to do it?
Well, I think really it's been a complete game changer for me, in the sense that in the past, when I was going out trying to sell training, I would try and track down a client, I would hound them down and try and beat them into submission to do business with me. And somewhere along that process, if somebody could come in and upset that process, and I could spend weeks, maybe months, trying to track down a corporate client and get nothing at the end of it. Whereas now, I don't have any of that worry, because all I have to do is look back 2 or 3 pages and see lists and lists of people who would take the place of somebody who won't take my offer. So I don't feel the need to chase anybody anymore. In fact, I'm starting to turn the tables on them, where I tell them what the offer is, I get them excited about the potential traffic, and then I just tell them that if you don't take this, I'm going to offer this to your competitors. And that seems to have a huge impact on my mindset, to the point where I'm not chasing money now, and if anything, money is actually starting to come over in everything that I do, and money seems to be chasing me now because of that, and that's something I would never have been able to do without being part of OMG.
That's amazing. I love hearing what you're saying. I think that's really inspiring. So are you branching out and actually starting to do SEO consulting yourself now?
Well, I've sold the site already.